down.
What up, players? It's the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to the 7th day of March 2025. My name is Nick. There's Big J right over yonder.
Yep.
We are here. We are present. We are accounted for. We are ready for the final day of the week. I am ready for the final day of the week. I don't know about you, Big J.
Yeah, totally, man.
You feel like this week has felt really long for some reason to me. No? To you?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about weeks that somehow do that, but maybe it's because I've got a lot of stuff on my plate and I've been knocking a lot of stuff around.
You think that would go make it faster?
You think, but it's because like I've got so much stuff going on that's led to some long days this week, and I think that's probably what's going in. I've had a lot of things to do after work as well, so I haven't been getting home until late. So I feel like, like when I get home, I've got like 2 hours before it's like your ass better go to bed or you're not going to get up on time kind of thing. And so I think that leads to me feeling like this is a long week.
Well, the weekend's not going to get any better, bro.
How come?
We got to leap forward an hour.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you. Although I don't like it. It doesn't mess with my head as much as it messes with your head. But this is my least favorite one because you lose an hour of sleep, and that's a real kick in the jeans.
Yes.
But I am happy that it comes on a Sunday. I can maybe sleep in and try to accumulate a little bit, but I'm not going to be happy about it. But it doesn't like throw me off as much as it does you. But I am not. I'm certainly not a fan. We've said this on this show for 18 years. The second we abolish changing the clock, it's a better life. And this is coming again from somebody that lived in Arizona for a dozen years.
Yeah, you tasted the sweetness.
Oh, it's so nice when you don't have to worry about your clock changing. Like I said, the biggest stress is now your friends who live in different places are on different times. And you have to try to remember, are they an hour ahead, an hour behind?
What a pain in the ass.
Same time? I don't know. But you never have to touch your clock. Life is just life, dude. And you don't worry about losing sleep. You just go about your way. And honestly, if I may feel a little elitist, Big J, on days like the day that people change your clocks, you wake up and you laugh. And you go, what a bunch of idiots.
Yep.
Nobody knows why they're doing it. They don't have to, but yet they still do it every single year, twice a year, like a bunch of frickin' robots. I know.
It's you now, sucker.
I know. I don't like it. But it is fun when you don't have to mess around with it. But outside of that, Big J, any huge weekend plans other than moving Pacers for the second weekend in a row?
No, not really.
Oh, man, what a bummer.
I know.
Well,
need to get out and ride. It's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something. What do you mean? That's something to look forward to, right?
Personal. That's personal.
Yeah, well, that's exactly.
I'm going to share that with you.
You just did.
Oh.
And also, how long has it been since you got that bike out of the garage? A couple months, right?
Last week.
Oh, you were out last week. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you go out with anybody?
And I told you that.
I don't remember what you say.
No, I did not.
But we also have Kill Switch Engage tickets to give away. We're going to be doing that a couple of times today. Big J will have your song of the week for you. We have a couple of special prizes that we're giving away today as well. That's going to be fun. And then we play music like Incubus, Drive, kicking things off here on the morning after with Nick and Big J on the X.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Big J, can I interest you in a new park?
Oh, what kind of park, man?
The kind of park that people can go to and hang out in.
Okay, sure.
Boise Parks and Recreation has proposed acquiring a new neighborhood park location on the West Bench. The 0.66-acre piece of land is located near Northview Street and Fairview Avenue. That would offer about 4,000 residents access to a park within a 10-minute walk of their home. Over the last 8 years or so, the city of Boise has made it a goal to increase the number of residents who can walk to a park from their home in 10 minutes or less. Since the beginning of the project, access has increased from 60 to 73% of Boise residents. The Boise City Council will decide at a meeting on March 11th whether or not to use funds from the Open Space and Clean Water Levy to purchase the plot of land for the park. Should cost about $500,000 if they decide to do that. And then, of course, they turn it into a regular old park and have some fun and enjoy it up. So Parks and Rec has been busy around here in the city of Boise. There's lots of beautiful parks. There could be one more added to the list. How's the Middleton Parks, Big J?
They're pretty nice.
Yeah?
All right. Yeah.
If you walk 10 minutes, could you get to a park from your house?
Oh, yeah, a couple.
Nice,
actually.
dude. How does that feel?
Feels like I never do that.
Oh, leave with the dogs?
they're anti-social. Since Ladybird came around, Lincoln gets real territorial around Ladybird.
All right.
So it doesn't mesh running into other little canines.
You're not headed out to the dog park very much?
Yeah, we used to take him to the dog park all the time, and then that has changed a little bit, which is kind of a bummer, I think.
You used to like going to the dog park?
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, you got to do what's right for your pups, right?
Yeah.
And that makes
Absolutely.
sense. That doesn't mean you can't take them to a park that doesn't have a dog park, right?
Right, but if there's other dogs there,
Turns into a real situation.
They get angry.
I get it.
A little aggressive sometimes.
All right. Well, take it easy, Big J.
Take
I
it
beg
easy,
you.
Lincoln.
Big J, you remember us talking about the one-of-a-kind rookie card from Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Paul Skeens that was going through a whole bunch of stuff? They were talking about how if it was found, they would offer up like a Pittsburgh Pirates tickets for life and then a bunch of autographed stuff from Paul Skeens. And
Yeah.
Paul really wanted it, and it was found by an 11-year-old collector in Los Angeles. And I believe the last time we talked about this, we followed up with the kid saying, hey, listen, no thanks. This is a one-of-a-kind in the world. I think I'll hold on to this thing.
I'm keeping it.
I live in L.A. I don't need Pittsburgh Pirates season tickets. I'm good. Well, he changed his mind pretty quickly, but in a really good way, Big J. He has decided to put the card up for auction right away because he wants to donate the proceeds to the Los Angeles Fire Relief Fund.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty cool. Industry insiders believe that the bidding will very likely exceed $1 million before the auction is over on March 20th, and some believe it could end up breaking records and become the most expensive baseball card in history at over $3 million. But again, this kid's not pocketing a dime. He's giving it all to charity.
What a moron.
At 11 years old, he's got his family was affected by the fires. This is one of the things that he wants to do. So
he could get his family a brand new mansion.
I'll stop short of calling him a moron, but it is nice that he's giving it away and doing something for charity.
I was kidding, kid.
Too late. You've made an enemy, and a powerful one at that.
I hope somebody gives him something. Just for the fact that he's doing something so charitable.
It is nice to see him do this that good. Big J, at this point, I believe you watch every CBS procedural that's out there, so perhaps I'm wrong.
No, you are wrong.
Do you watch SWAT?
You're an idiot. No, I do not.
Okay, did you?
We watched the first 2 seasons, and then...
What happened? You don't like Shamar Moore?
It wasn't that... I didn't think it was that great. So
Did you
I
like
wasn't
the movie?
surprised when it was canceled. It's completely different. They're not even close to the same.
I know, but it's based on the same original property, I guess.
I don't think
so.
so.
The SWAT movie was based on the SWAT TV show. The SWAT TV show is a remake of the SWAT.
This is not a remake of SWAT.
It's not?
No, not really.
Not even in the early part of it?
Super loosely.
This comes after almost 2 years after the police drama was given the axe by CBS, only for the network to reverse its decision. A couple of days later, this one appears to be permanent. So if you're a SWAT fan, I'm sorry. It doesn't look like it's going to be on TV.
There's probably not
much
that
anymore.
many.
I was doing okay for a couple of years.
Yeah, it really struggled.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, if you look at the numbers of even what successful television shows are considered to be on network television, the numbers are drastically different than what they were just 15 years ago. I mean, the landscape has changed drastically in what makes a successful over-the-air program these days, which is crazy. But hey, listen, we live in a streaming and on-demand world. Big J, do you understand me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your first round of important stuff. It is the X-Rocks. That's a Foo Fighters Everlong here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Wanted to remind you one of the many things we are giving away today that's pretty cool is these really nice Idaho State Historical Society walking tours. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's really, really cool. If you've gone down to the old pen, you kind of know how those tours traditionally go, right? You get to see some of the cells. They get to tell some really interesting stories. It's a pretty awesome tour in and of itself. But maybe what you didn't know was right by the old pen, hidden behind it is a cemetery, of course, where some of the bodies are buried, Big J, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity, a rare opportunity, for you to check out the actual hidden cemetery beyond the prison walls and learn a little bit about the lives of the prisoners, the deaths of the prisoners, and some of the stories involved in some of those things that they don't get into on the regular tour. Now, it's only for a limited time engagement, and so you have a limited kind of time that you can get in there. They're offering up daily tours throughout the month of March for a couple of days, and you have a chance to get in there and enjoy some of those stories. And we're going to give you a chance to win one of those walking tours with Pop Culture Smackdown. So A reminder to tune in around 8:30 or so today to get your hands on some of these really cool Idaho State Historical Society walking tours of the hidden cemetery at the Old Pen, and check it out for yourself. I know a lot of people are into that kind of thing. Maybe if you're like, you're out ghost hunting, Big J, an old penitentiary cemetery, that's like, gold mine, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you can go check out the Idaho Historical Society's website. It's idaho.gov/events for our history.idaho.gov/events for your opportunity to actually check this thing out and see one of these tours are for yourself. But if you want to win some for free, I would recommend listening to Pop Culture Smackdown today and some next week so that you can have an opportunity to win one of those tours for free and get all creeped out and enjoy some Idaho Old Pen fun. All right?
That sounds like a plan.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J has your Song of the Week. It's coming up next on the X Rocks. Latest from Papa Roach, Even If It Kills Me, here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Every single Friday, Big J selects a song for you to get the blood flowing as you head into the weekend. First, you find out the what, then you find out the why. Big J, what's your song today, bro?
Yeah, it's a transmission from Starset. It's Halo.
All right, check it out. It's the X Rocks. Starset Halo, that is Big J's Song of the Week. It's a good one, Big J. What you picking that one for?
Yeah, we love Starset, Nick, and we've had a lot of good times with them. They've played a couple free X shows for us. Come in for an X session, which was amazing.
Got like
and
4 of them.
Yeah, and let's see, about a month and a half, or maybe it was a few, maybe longer than that. But they announced this small, little special acoustic tour that they were doing. And they're coming through Boise on Monday, early afternoon, 4 o'clock at Barbarian Brewing in Garden City. And now those tickets are sold out. It's one of those things, they just did it kind of like on their social media stuff. We have a couple of pairs of sticks. We're going to give away a pair here later this morning with Bad Impressions. But that is one of those bands that just, they're just amazing. Every song that they put out, every album has been fantastic. And, they kind of keep everything, they do all this stuff themselves. Dustin and everybody in that band, just all the costumes and all the things they create is really amazing, man.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen, now this is going to be a different kind of circumstance come Monday at Barbarian Brewing, but if you haven't seen a live transmission of Starset, it's one of the most visually amazing shows you will see.
Like,
they put
could you imagine
so much
them
effort
in the Sphere?
No.
Like,
it would
that
be amazing.
It'll never happen.
No, it wouldn't.
Because they're just not big enough, but
Right.
that would be phenomenal.
No, I mean, like, Dustin has always been about the visual aspects of that stuff and building the story around Starset and always having
they
the
should
narrative.
tour Planetarium.
They should. You're right.
I think they've done that a couple times.
I think you're right as
Yeah.
well, but it's really, really neat, and it's really awesome. And oh, by the way, they're fantastic musicians, and their music sounds just as good unplugged as it does plugged in, and you're going to have a great time on Monday. So to those of you that picked up those tickets as quickly as you could to make it sold out, smart move. You're going to have a blast. And to those that want to go, you might want to tune in today around 9:30. You will not be sorry. It is weird that it's happening at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I
but
love
hey,
it, man. I'm going to be there.
We were just talking about how awesome that is. That it's happening in the middle of the afternoon.
You've got stuff to do. You can't.
It's
make
not that I have stuff to do. I can't. I
it's
want to
too early
go,
for
but
you.
my friend, my girlfriend can't get off of work in time, and so it's like I want to be there, but some people work until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's just the way that it works. But still, it's pretty awesome that it's happening, and we're happy that they had Boise on the list. And anything Starset does, I think we're on board because we're fans of. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Important stuff is on the way. So is We're Going to Hell. It's the X Rocks.
She a legend.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Artificial intelligence, Big J, known the world over as AI, is used for a lot of things. Shortcuts in a lot of ways. Other times it's just used to have a little bit of fun. But as this is a fairly new technology and we start to learn a little bit more about it, the whole point of artificial intelligence, Big J, is it slowly but surely adapts to what you ask it to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so as they start to do more and more studies, Big J, it turns out we can stress out artificial intelligence.
Sucker.
We can make ChatGPT go absolutely bonkers. How do we do so, Big J?
By asking it dumb questions.
Yeah, it's exactly it. It's all about asking it to come up with, create, and generate distressing content. You know, when you ask it like messed up questions or make it create a messed up story, slowly but surely you can see measurable anxiety levels rise in artificial intelligence based on the answers.
How can it have anxiety? It doesn't exist.
It's about the way that they react to questions that are asked in like an evasive manner. That's a response when you're going through a traumatic situation where you don't want to address it fully and you are basically trying to avoid the subject at all costs because you don't want to deal with the trauma head on. This is things that AI starts to do when it's peppered with distressing stories and questions. And while neutral control text did not lead to any increase in anxiety levels, when you start to increase the distressful stuff, it starts to get a little bit weird and make the responses weird. It is strange because they've also found that if you tell ChatGPT to slow down and breathe, it did, quote unquote, calm down the anxiety levels in the ChatGPT that they were having. So it's strange how it adapts to the things that we pose for it. Though, again, the whole point of this, Big J, is to be able to adapt to things and situations and learn from them, and it appears we're doing this. So once again, Big J, it probably isn't long before we make one of these artificial intelligence programs so stressed that it absolutely snaps and goes nuts on us.
And then unleashes on us.
Yeah.
It's frustration and anger.
We create a monster. And then we poke the monster, and then we get angry when the monster decides it wants to fight back. You understand?
Yeah.
It's a lot like Planet of the Apes that you didn't want. The first NBA jerseys ever worn by Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are going up for auction, and each jersey is expected to sell for about $10 million. Now, Jordan's jersey was worn during his preseason debut in 1984. The bidding will be open from March 12th through March 26th. Kobe's jersey worn during his 96-97 rookie season will be up for sale April 10th through the 24th. But this is supposed to be the mecca of collectors' jerseys. Two of the greatest players to ever play, the first jerseys they ever wore. This is actual collector stuff, and apparently the prices are going to go crazy and through the woodwork. Yes. So I don't know where these were or how they hung on to them or how they know, but they're documentized and all sorts of stuff. So it is crazy how much money things are going for on the collector's markets these days, but none of us should be surprised.
Is this part of your jersey collection?
No, my jersey collection, none of which is game worn. Rarely is it official. They're usually just, the $40 knockoffs you would buy. My jersey collection is of terrible football and basketball players.
Where do you have those now?
They are now hanging up in my son's room in the closet.
Oh, okay.
So I do have them still. Like I have a Bryant Country Reeves jersey for the Vancouver Grizzlies. I have a Ryan Leaf Cowboys jersey. I have
That's
a bunch.
The first thing I saw on your MySpace page, and I was like, "Oh crap!"
I thought it was funny to collect jerseys of really bad players back in the day, and I spent. I spent a pretty good amount of money on them. And then there was a point where I did sell some of them at a yard sale. And so I did lose some of them, but some of them weren't sellable. Like I still have an Alvin Harper Tampa Bay Buccaneers creamsicle jersey. I still have a bunch of really bad players that nobody had ever heard of, but I thought was funny to throw $70 at the time.
Have you ever considered putting those in like shadow boxes and hanging them up?
There's too many, and I wore a bunch of them, so they're not like in super premium condition kind of thing. Because again, I thought it was funny, so I was trying to be funny.
Ironic.
But yeah, and then I sat down one day as I was having children. I was like, I have like $10,000 worth of jerseys here that I thought was funny that I could use for my kids' college fund. What am I doing to myself? And so that was when I had like a real sit down, come to God moment with why I was wasting my money on that stuff. Yeah, well, I sold some of them, but some of them nobody wanted, and so I could not part with them. It was one of those deals too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Now they just hang in my son's closet. Big J, Millie Bobby Brown. You're familiar with the name, right?
Yes, of course.
Would it surprise you that that's a showbiz name? Her name is not Millie Bobby Brown. According to her middle name is actually Bonnie, not Bobby. But she has never told anybody that. She said she did it for a stage name. And so there's that. And additionally, she also said that when she and Jake Bon Jovi got married, she took Jake's last name. So her real name is Millie Bonnie Brown Bon Jovi. It's a lot of B's,
wow.
Big J.
That's a lot, man.
She did this all in promotion of her Electric State movie that comes out March 14th on Netflix, but she wants to set the record straight, I guess. But still, please call her Millie Bobby Brown. That's the name that she has etched into the zeitgeist.
And stop being creepy.
What's happening?
Oh, I mean, it's just constant. She always is. You know, she recently, because I almost did her for Bad Impressions the other day. Just the over sexualization that she went through from Stranger Things and growing up, and just
people are gross.
creeps.
People are gross. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We're going to hell next on the X.
Stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh man, we're going to hell.
Let's not kid ourselves. I'm going to hell, and you know it.
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X rocks.
Hey everybody, keep your fingers out of your nose. All right?
Oh.
Don't go digging for gold. Don't go picking bugs out of your schnoz, because things can go sideways, and they can go sideways fast.
Man, what happened to
I
him?
have a case of a gentleman that was shared online by his wife in the form of some short clips documenting his experience in the hope that it may dissuade other people who may be nose pickers. And I'm not talking about the ones that kind of go in there every once in a while when you have a strangler that's just kind of getting in the way. I'm talking about people that pick their nose on a fairly regular basis. Like maybe it's like your favorite pastime, something like that. Because
it's an American pastime.
The man had reportedly always loved picking his nose, whether he was standing, sitting down, laying in bed. He would always be exploring his nostrils with his finger. And only recently, the obsession became something that bit him right in the ass. One day, while picking his nose as usual, the man got himself a nosebleed, which is prone to happen. You can happen sometimes. You're picking your nose, you go too deep, and you strike gold, but not the good kind, the red kind. And then the nosebleed just would not stop. And despite him and his wife's best efforts, nothing was going on. So in the end, the couple had to go to the hospital, where doctors diagnosed him with an actual ruptured facial artery, and he had to have emergency surgery to fix the damage.
Jeez, man.
As the man's wife filmed the entire hospital experience, and basically, kind of discovered that it was the nose picking that did it, she posted it online. Health experts warned that nose picking poses a serious risk of infection, but when it becomes a habit, it can cause even more problems, like damaging the nasal muscosa, and in extreme cases, like the one presented here, it can damage the blood vessels and tissues in the nasal cavity and then rupture an artery. And if you rupture your artery, that's bad news bears. You got to go in for surgery, get it all fixed. You can't stop bleeding. You might bleed out. It's not great. So he had surgery. It took about 2 hours to fix it. He was able to stay in the hospital for a couple of days, and then he was released. But it's all because of nose picking, Big J, that made this whole thing happen.
Look out.
So once again, I don't think I know anybody that I would say nose picking is their favorite pastime per se, or somebody that's a chronic nose picker, I think I don't think I'm stepping out of bounds when I say that everybody has picked their nose at some point in their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a matter of making sure, you're not knuckle deep in that thing like 24 hours a day. Then you could cause some serious problems. But also, what's this guy doing right? He's picking his nose a whole bunch, and he's still got himself a wife. So he's got something figured out, right?
Maybe she's also a nose picker.
Could be.
Maybe they met at Nose Picker Anonymous.
Is that a thing?
Probably, if it's such a big problem.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very anonymous, but it certainly is something that can be a bad habit and something that can pose danger. So something to keep an eye on. I didn't know there was such a thing as a facial artery. I'm not a doctor, however. So I didn't know that maybe, you don't trim your nails or something and you tag the inside of your nose. Next thing you know, you're bleeding like a stuck pig and you're like, what the hell is going on here? Now I got to go to the hospital. Now I need surgery. I wonder if this will make him stop, though, Big J. What do you think?
Probably not.
Yeah. He'll just pick his other nose nostril, right?
Damn right. One's closed down, the other's opened up.
Right. You're open for business, right, nostril? Let's go. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X Rocks. Enter Sandman. Right here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. We opened up the show talking about it, but let's break it down. Let's get into details, because come Saturday, you have to spring forward. Yeah. And you lose an hour of sleep as we catapult into daylight savings time, Big J. And so it's a debate that rages on. It's a tale as old as time. It's one that has overwhelming public opinion, and that is essentially we need to pick one time and stick with it. Yet nothing is happening about it, save if you live in Arizona or Hawaii and you're listening on the app or streaming online or listening to the podcast, then you know you don't have to worry about changing your time at all, but the rest of the country does. And so let's break down kind of how it goes. And so when it comes into changing our clocks, about 54% of the country, according to the Gallup poll, want to stick with standard time. That's
Who are
the time,
these people?
That's the time that we're currently on.
I want to shake them.
What's the matter?
Well,
You
no,
don't-
I mean the idea of even having continue on with changing it.
Hang on. We're not there yet.
Okay.
So 54% would like to stay at the time that we're currently on.
Yes.
40% of the country say they're in favor of daylight savings time and staying on that time zone, which is the one that we're about to go into coming up here over the weekend. So what we're saying is 94% of the country says we need to pick a time and stay with
It's
it. That's
just trying to figure out
overwhelming.
which one. I mean, who cares?
Well, there are pros and cons for each one.
Ugh.
Now, the experts, quote unquote, scientists say that standard time is the time that we should stay on year round. Because without changing the clocks, we get more consistent sleep. It is believed that staying with standard time could reduce the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other health issues. And then when you have that, you wake up more alert and you feel more productive. Also, it is safer for the kids in the morning. There are less accidents in the morning commutes during standard time. If we switch to daylight savings time, there are benefits to that as well. Of course, more daylight in the evening hours, especially in the summer. There's some energy savings that go along with it, and there's other benefits as well. So there's pluses for both aspects of it. But we have only 6%, again, this is according to a new Gallup poll, of American citizens that are okay with us changing our clocks on a regular basis. So I don't think it gets more one-sided than this, but yet nothing is happening about changing our clocks or keeping them
It's like
where they should be.
it's like a couple trying to decide what to have for dinner.
Everybody's hungry, but we don't know. Hey, listen, I don't care. I just want to pick one.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
want to change it anymore.
I don't give a damn. Just stick with one. What does it matter? Somebody needs to take a leadership role and just say, this is what's happening.
Well, don't forget there was also
I thought
that
we had that guy in the Oval Office who was like, I don't care about anybody's opinion. He's saying, well, it's a 50-50 issue, apparently, so I don't think I'm going to do anything about it.
It couldn't be less than a 50-50 issue. It's almost overwhelmingly
Well, no,
100%.
the 50-50 issue is which time to land on.
Oh, nobody.
That's the problem, and so they can't make
But
that
it's
decision.
not. It's a 54-40% issue.
54-40%. Where's the rest of them? They don't care?
No, yes, that's exactly right. 12 don't
Okay.
give a rat's ass, and 4% are like, we should stick the clocks the way they are. But there are benefits to both, but it's not overwhelming, but a majority of Americans say the time that we're on right now is the time that should stay. And that's what the scientists say. That's why it's called standard time.
Well, we're not going to listen to them.
I understand. I should
The
be
last
careful
people we're
who
listening
I
to.
attribute that to. But daylight savings time is about to happen. So once again, we are battered back and forth between changing our clocks for reasons that 99% of the public don't know the actual reason why we do it. And the people that do have an opinion are most likely wrong. It has nothing to do with farming. We've talked about this before.
I mean, it used to.
Well, no, it never did.
Yes.
It's just
Yes,
that's
it
the
did.
rumor that people believe, but if you go back and research it, that's not why it was invented. But anyway, the point is, it's one of those deals why it needs to be probably talked about. But again, we don't really talk about things that are overwhelmingly one-sided. That seems to be out of the conversation. But we bring it up and then we forget about it because we have 900 billion other things to bitch about once the clocks are changed. But it is something that I feel like is crazy that we haven't gotten down to why we're doing it and why it still exists. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but it doesn't mean we should avoid the topic of discussion. If somebody's going to talk about it, Big J, it might as well be us.
Damn right.
So, till further notice, we have to continue changing the clocks. Remember to do it this weekend, spring forward. And then I'm sure, again, we'll talk about this all over again coming up when it's time to fall back. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Agreed.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Important stuff on the way. So is Pop Culture Smackdown. It's the X Rocks.
In search of news. Important stuff. On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
University of Durham, Big J, just spent the last 3 years doing a study on a bunch of brains, and they found out you're a junkie. Congratulations.
We're all junkies.
You're addicted to social media, bro.
I'm addicted to this.
They found out that brief moments of opening up social media triggered a reward-based rush in your brain, and then closing out the app triggers stress responses in most of our brains. When you scroll away from your social media apps, and it basically slowed down your heart rate and at the same time increased your stress response, which is not great that you're feeling that way about an application on your phone or computer. When participants were actually asked to not use social media, their heart rate increased and they reported high increases in stress and anxiety. And what they found out after 3 years of research is, 1, most Americans are addicted to social media. Number 2, it's because it has done a really good job tapping into our basic human needs. Big J, you want to belong and you want to be liked. And that's exactly what social media helps you do in some cases. And so that particular rush and that need and that desire is where they come from, and you can't get enough, you little addict, you.
Nah, it's more a place for passive-aggressive conversations with your significant other in the form of memes that you send each other.
On
It's
social
hilarious.
media?
Yeah.
You don't do that in text form?
No, it's easier with when you're in the.
You just
in
click the
app.
share button.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand.
It's like that's how we have like deep conversations based on those type of things. It's hilarious.
Well, this doesn't get into the messenger side of things or the DM side of things. This is strictly just on the social media front pages and using the app itself. So maybe there's additional layers to it once you involve those particular things for sure. But they're just talking about the social media aspect of it, not like the instant messaging kind of side of things. So you're still addicted. You know that as well as I do. We all are. It's the way it works. Minor League Baseball team will pay tribute to Wisconsin's passion for frozen pizza. Big J, you've been to Wisconsin. You know every bar you go into has got some sort of frozen pizza special
bar
going
pizza.
on. Pizza. Yep, tavern pizza. And the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers are a high A affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, and on July 12th, they'll change their name to the Wisconsin Frozen Pizzas. And there's a giveaway, of course. The first 1,000 fans entering the ballpark in Appleton for the game will receive, of course, a pizza oven bobblehead, Big J. Just what you want for your pizza collection.
It's awesome.
It is true. I grew up, well, listen, it's not a surprise that I visited a lot of bars and frequented a lot of bars growing up. Tavern pizza was a staple of my diet as a young child. My uncle owned a bar, so it was a lot of the food that would be served, and every single bar has some sort of pizza on that's part of their actual menu.
This is going to sound like a ludicrous question.
Okay.
Okay, but is Wisconsin frozen pizza better? Do you think? Like,
no. We're just all hammered when we eat it, and so
okay.
it's delicious.
I'm just saying, anytime I get even close to Wisconsin, the pizza taste goes up dramatically. And it's because they're using authentic Wisconsin cheese. Like, I had a chain restaurant. I had a pizza, and this is a place I used to go, Old Chicago, all the time to eat, right?
Uh-huh.
And my very dear friend Matt, he was going to college in Minnesota, and so I was there to visit, and we went to Old Chicago, and we had a pizza. Same pizza I have here. It was 15 times better because they were using the authentic, like, Wisconsin cheese, and it just made a difference. And I came back, and it just wasn't the same.
Well, maybe it is certainly when it's fresh baked like that. I mean, when it's frozen, it's still frozen, but it's definitely, there's a brand there. Have you heard of Jack's Frozen Pizza?
Yes.
That's what a lot of the bar pizza is in Wisconsin. It's Jack's Pizza, and so that's what you end up just making.
How much frozen pizza do you do now?
In my house?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe one every 2 months or something like that. Not very much. Why? What am I missing?
No, I was going to suggest just a specific pizza oven, not like super fancy ones, but ones that you just pop something in like they have at the
tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every bar has one of those pizza ovens where you just throw it in there and it's good.
I know your next president.
Okay. Well, numerous network streamers are engaged in a bidding war for a new reality show, Big J. It is based on the iconic board game Monopoly. The show reportedly is a large-scale social experiment designed as a battle of strategy, alliances, and cutthroat competition, in which contestants battle it out for fortune and navigate the fine line between capitalism and chaos to emerge as the ultimate landlord, Big J. The news follows closely that the announcement that the Spider-Man Homecoming writers will pen the screenplay for the upcoming Monopoly film adaptation, and now there's going to be a reality show competition as well. And you topple that with the mobile game Monopoly Go, and Monopoly is having some sort of moment right now, I think. I'm trying to figure out what the reality show would even consist of.
They just said. It'd be cutthroat. You'd be like, it's going to be just like playing Monopoly with your family.
Yeah, but how does that work, I guess? On TV.
Well, I mean, most reality competition series are all the same, essentially.
I get it, but not are based on board games, I guess, is the other side to that coin. You know? I mean, how do you turn the Monopoly?
Like, are they going to be buying realty and
or something like that? I don't know. I have no idea. But reality
shows
you're
in, though.
I don't know. Well, the networks certainly are. We'll see what network wins the bid. They're very much into the idea.
You playing Monopoly Go?
I do not play Monopoly Go.
The wife dragged me into it. I love it now.
What is there any difference from playing the board game?
Oh yeah, there's several differences.
But I mean, you play with other people, right?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You have like multiple games of Monopoly going on at once?
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, no, it's not a game of Monopoly. It's just like you have certain things you have to do. You have dice that you roll, and you're trying to get as much money as possible. You level up, all that sort of stuff.
So it's not buying properties and charging rent?
No.
It's a different
kind
thing altogether?
of, but it has nothing to do with it. It's more about collecting. You're never going to guess this. Collecting cards.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
No wonder you love it. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got yourself some pop culture smackdown. It's next on the X Rocks. Sublime, that is Santeria here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. It is Friday. There's always something happening at the lounge, and this weekend's got some pretty big shows lined up as we welcome back into the studio Jen and Coral from the lounge. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Thank you for getting up early and coming in. We always appreciate it. How are things?
Good, busy. We've had events almost every night this week, which has been pretty cool. Hosted the Impact Club, which was the nonprofit that gets so many nonprofits around the Treasure Valley, because we are very giving people here that you don't even know about. They get 3 of them, and then they raise a bunch of money every quarter, and they give thousands of dollars away to these nonprofits to help them keep going and to lift them. Oh, it was amazing. And then last night, the Here to Pee tour was in town, and they peed, and they made us all laugh and pee, and then they left. So it was great.
Hey, give me the cliff notes on that. What is that? What was it entailing exactly?
So they put it's all trans comedians,
okay.
And they're touring around 50 states. We were state number 4, and so I was like, "Whew, you guys got a lot of work ahead of you." But they're raising money with the tickets, and then they pay for their operations costs for the tour, and all of the money that doesn't go towards that, they donate to a local LGBTQ facility or chapter. Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome.
So we had some people out from our local one as well, and it was great. They were like, here's what I love. Most of the comedians that come to the club, and this is something that we really try to do, they say this is like the best club I've ever worked at, right?
Aww.
Which is kind of our goal, is to make it that. So last night they said the same thing, and we were like, well, this is only number 4 on your tour, so so you're going to be on 27 and be like, remember Boise? Remember that? Let's go back there.
Well, you didn't get a chance, but when the videographer came in to like see the venue before the comic showed up, he just walks in and goes, "Oh wow."
Cool. I like that. Although you never know, like with somebody's intonation, because it could have been like, "Oh,
yeah,
wow,
we're gonna have to work with this." But no, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, this weekend, which it already feels like next weekend, because this is like day number 4 for us.
It's been a long week.
Yep. But we're into like the big stuff. So tonight, and this is just one night only, we have Rachel Scanlon. So we've had her here before, but she came with her podcast partner. She has a really popular national podcast called Two Dykes and a Mic. Mm-hmm. She's hilarious. So we brought her back on her own. The 7:00 show is already sold out.
Nice.
Sorry. So but I love that. I love coming in and being like, we
want
have
you to
some
be sold
tickets,
out.
Yeah.
We want
but
you to
not
be
all the
sold
tickets.
out.
Yeah.
You snooze, you lose.
Exactly. So her 9:00 show, we still have some room left. I think the VIP are almost gone though. But there's some general admission tickets still available. So again, 9 o'clock tonight. Doors for that are, I believe, 8:50, 8:55, depending on how fast the staff can move to flip the room.
To turn the room over.
Exactly. And then tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we have Alex Hooper, who is of America's Got Talent fame. He was one of the finalists on that show a few seasons back, and his story's really interesting too, because he went on that show like just after recovering enough from like an organ transplant.
Wow.
And I mean, it's one of those really unique perspectives that a lot of us thankfully don't have to, be able to relate to. But he does a lot of comedy about it, and it's really hilarious. But also, like, you go like, wow, this is a really unique view and window into a piece of someone's life that I've never been exposed to before. So he's super funny, and he's really goofy too. So that's really great. He's again one show tomorrow at 7. Doors are at 6 for that. Tickets all available on loungeboise.com.
Yeah, and as we look forward on the calendar, you're not messing around. You got a whole bunch of really big acts that are coming through as you hit, I'm sure, what is considered to be the Lounge's pretty busy time. I know you traditionally take a little bit of time for Tree Fort, but is that even factoring in this year? You still have a bunch of stuff going on, right?
I mean, we're still doing private events during Tree Fort, but it's also a time for us to do like needed maintenance around the lounge and whatnot. So it's a time for us to like deep clean and steam everything. And
we pull all the things away from the walls and go, and then we clean them.
And then I find all the things that I've been missing for the last like 3 months.
There's that glass. My God.
Yep.
But you should check it out. And I know you still have some passes available that can get you into a bunch of shows, correct?
Yeah. So I was actually just going to thank you for bringing that up. So what we're doing is a lot of weekends where there are 2 different headliners on the weekend. So like this weekend, same thing next weekend. I believe the weekend after that we've got
and the weekend after that.
Yeah. So it's like here and gone. And if you are a real comedy lover and you want to see some of these incredible, big name headliners that are out there, getting a pass is a good idea. We are completely out of the Jedi passes. They all got bought up this year. So they'll get released again in the fall. We do it every year, so you can get another
pass?
one. No Sith passes.
Well, what's up with that?
Yeah, well, a Sith pass is where you actually pay $10 extra for every ticket when you come in. So,
all right, you know what? You might get some Star Wars nerds to pony up.
Yeah. Okay, so, but we do have some of the group passes. So we have like the comedy enthusiast, comedy expert ones. So you can still get 10 tickets for the price of 6 and 6 tickets for the price of 4. So if you want to come to some extra shows, you can still do that. It's just unlike the Jedi Pass. It's not for a full calendar year. You keep coming and coming and coming. But you'll still wind up saving quite a bit of money. I mean, 6 tickets for the price of 10 is it's $150. You're saving $120 or $5 or something like that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So go online and grab a Laugh Pass if you want to come see all of the people that we have coming.
And as always, it's a fantastic night out, a great date night as well, because food is a part of the fun there at the lounge too. So you can grab yourself some dinner, grab yourself a couple of beverages, and have yourself a really, really good time with some great comedy or a great show, period, at the lounge. So check out loungeboise.com. Anything else we have to look forward to?
So many things. We've got Ian Stanley coming in next weekend. He's filming another crowd work special, right?
Yes.
I love his crowd work. It's great. We had a blast at the last one that was like, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's so
and
funny.
So funny. Love having him around. And he just did a big old tour. So like he's got new material. He's going to be working on it.
Ladies,
but he's going to be working
and he
on
has
you.
an accent.
And he's got
He
a
does.
British accent. Yeah. DJ Sandu's coming up as well. Shantae Wayans, that was the show that we had to reschedule. So she'll be here right before Tree Fort Week, so you can get one of those in.
Definitely do not snooze on those tickets. Both of those shows will sell out.
Okay.
And then we have Big Irish Jay coming in. That's our St. Patty's Day show that'll be coming up as well. Although we're going to wait till you get over your hangover. Because it's on like a Tuesday this year, isn't it? Monday or
Monday.
Tuesday?
It's a Monday.
Yeah, it's a Monday.
So kick off the week and like just put a little Bailey's in your coffee, chill out, and then at the end of the week you come and see him and celebrate correctly, and then take an Uber home.
So much
better
happening
plan.
for sure. The calendar also always being updated as shows continue to be announced. So it might be a good idea to bookmark that website so that you know who's coming to town and when, and you don't miss out on tickets, especially the VIP ones that seem to go pretty early. So check out loungeboise.com and go check out some great comedy this weekend. And Coral and Jen, thank you for coming in. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Of course,
Yay.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Some headlines next on the X.
Real things that really happened. Really? It's Headlines on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Listen to me. Headlines brought to you by Be Our Guest. Right now at xrock.com, you can grab $50 for just 25 American dollars for some great Italian food. Il Sugo Italian Kitchen there in Meridian, right there on McMillan. Wonderful place to stop in if you're looking for homemade, authentic sauces and locally sourced pasta and some fantastic seafood dishes with their extended menu. So go check it out for yourself and grab yourself a deal while you're at it. Be Our Guest to Il Sugo Italian Kitchen in Meridian. Right now, $25 will get you $50 for a limited time only. Once these certificates are gone, they are gone, and they're going quick. So check out xrock.com and get it while you can and be our guest. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Yes, agreed.
Wonderful. Headlines are as follows. Best of the best, and flight freakout. A Florida man named Julio Trejo claims that he was set up by his ex and a police officer she was dating, leading to a false arrest. Trejo was arrested for violating a restraining order, but Trejo now says his ex-girlfriend's boyfriend, which is Detective Pedro Perez of the Homestead Police Force, was romantically involved with her, and that is why he was arrested. Apparently, according to the attorney, he sold out his badge and he sold out the integrity of the police department to satisfy himself romantically. Trejo shared text messages he obtained through a public records request that included Perez saying, "So do you want me to arrest him before next Friday?" With the ex-girlfriend responding with, "Can you actually do it Friday morning? That way he misses the court hearing and the judge will grant the restraining order and then we get charges later."
That was in a text?
Yes. Homestead Police released a statement saying that he is suspended and the subject and the matter will be investigated and has some pending litigation against it. So not a good look, really, when it boils down to it.
No, but the hammer has got to fall on these people. Because that's the fear that most people have of authoritarian figures being able to do that. And police already have a difficult enough job with other slack-ass bad cops doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's not a good look. Yeah. I'll put it that way. And yeah, it'd be nice if things kind of came down. But
so he can miss his. What is she watching? Daytime soap operas?
What?
To come up with that, the whole convoluted thing to get him to miss his hearing, it's just, man.
Yeah, so the restraining order shall be granted, and then he can get arrested.
Blood, dude.
Yeah, I imagine Julio's with you on that. Best of the best or flight freakout?
Flight freakout.
A Southwest Airlines flight from Houston to Phoenix got a little too raunchy to fly earlier this week when a female passenger stripped completely naked and marched down the aisle. The flight was preparing for takeoff when the woman, who was clearly having a mental issue, walked into the front of the cabin, started yelling, hitting parts of the plane, according to passengers. The plane was already taxiing at the time, but had to stop because the woman stripped off all of her clothes and walked up and down the aisle screaming at the top of her lungs. Passengers did their best to remain calm. Of course, they did capture it on video, Big J. The crew worked to calm her down, and the pilot returned the plane to the gate. Once back at the gates, the security guards opened the cabin, and the woman immediately ran out naked onto the jetway. She was ultimately captured and taken into custody. She was then taken into the hospital for psychiatric evaluation. The flight did end up taking off, but it was an hour late. I wonder if there were any signs of this before she got on the plane. Do you know what I mean? Did somebody have a breakdown once they get on the plane and start sitting down, or is this leading up to it? I don't know. I wasn't there.
There's a lot of sweat.
Yeah, just like you like.
A lot of crying.
Wrap it up with best of the best. The finalists are in for this year's World Video Game Hall of Fame. The 12 finalists are, Big J, are you ready?
Sure.
Age of Empires, Angry Birds, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Defender, Frogger, GoldenEye, Golden Tee, Harvest Moon, Mattel Football. I don't know if that's supposed to be Madden Football. Quake, NBA 2K, and Tatamagotchi. So which ones get in, Big J? You get 4 votes. Go.
Well, let's go first and foremost with GoldenEye.
Okay.
That's a given.
Good vote.
Age of Empires.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It goes across all platforms.
Okay.
Let's go with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4.
Uh-huh.
And then that's it.
Wow.
Leave off the rest.
Throwing shade on Frogger. I would give Frogger the nod. I would give Angry Birds the nod. I would give GoldenEye the nod. And I would probably give Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Also, Defender's an arcade classic, man. Hard to say no. Either way, they will be 4 of those will be getting to the International Center for the History of Electronic Games. And you can vote online now through March 13th. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There are your headlines. You're up to date on everything. Bad Impressions next on the X Rocks.
Kenny and Ashley here from Ashley Heating Air.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, we got a great prize package here for you. Morning after style. Tickets to Kill Switch Engage. That show happening March 17th. That's St. Patrick's Day. It's a Monday 2 weeks from now, and it's going to be a great show, man. We're also going to get you into another show, a very exclusive acoustic performance for Starset, which is going to happen this coming Monday at Barbarian Brewing in Garden City. So we'll get you lined up with all this if you can figure out bad impressions here this morning.
Now, just a caveat so that everybody knows that we're on the same page. This Starset acoustic thing is going to happen at 4 o'clock on Monday. So if you win these tickets and can't make it because of work or whatever, that's totally understandable. But let's just make sure that if you win this prize, it is something that you plan on attending and you can go to.
Don't you worry about it, sir.
All right, Daddy. 208-287-1003 is the number that you need to call if you'd like to play Bad Impressions, which works like this. Big J has 3 clues. They all revolve around somebody pretty famous. It is somebody, correct?
Famous band.
A famous band. And if you can figure out who that band is it Starset?
No.
If you can figure out who that band is, then you get to go to Starset and you get some Kill Switch Engage tickets. 208-287-1003. Best of luck. Big J, are you ready?
Yeah.
Then to the phones we go. Hello, the X.
You got through.
Yes, you did. What's your name, sir?
Dale.
Dale. All right. Good luck.
And Dale, this is a band, not a person. So here we go. No, Mommy, don't do it again. I'll be a good boy. I promise.
Disturbed.
Oh, there you go.
Nailed it. Well, I mean, yeah, it was a nice clue, Big J, right off the bat.
It was one of the best clues ever.
Good job, man. Hang on one second. You're going to Starset on Monday, the acoustic performance of Barbarian Brewing, and you're going to Kill Switch Engage. What were clues 2 and 3?
Wah. Did you see us kick off the 25th anniversary of the Sickness Tour at the Ford Idaho Center Arena?
And why is Disturbed in the news?
Disturbed is in the news because the Sickness 25th Anniversary Edition is out today. They've got a limited edition box set, which is fantastic, and they've got a bunch of other sweet goodies that are a part of that package. So if you're a Disturbed fan or you enjoyed yourself like I did at the show, man, I'll tell you what, because, I think this is actually the first time I've seen a band play through an album.
Okay, really?
And yeah, I mean, crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was really, really cool the way it went down. One of my favorite, just a song that I don't think we even have in our system, was Dropping Plates.
Yeah.
So silly and fun, and just, the fact that it was great. So that's a fantastic version of that song that they did live, which you don't get to see very often. But there's a whole bunch of other demos and cool stuff that's a part of this release. So you might want to check it out, especially if you had a good time there at the show.
Yeah, one of the things we didn't talk about was we had access to like this beautiful kind of pop-up museum that Disturbed had put together for the fan experience. If you got like VIP tickets, you got a chance to see some of the really cool things that were part of Disturbed's history from back in early in the day, like the original kind of stage setup. You got to see the original kind of guitar cases that they used. You got to see the management rejection letters that they got early on in their career. Yeah. It was a lot of fun to see some of that stuff to celebrate.
Which was funny because we were with their management who had sent the rejection letter, and that was just hilarious because they had never seen it before.
Yeah, it was very, very funny. It was a really good time, and certainly a great way to kind of take note of that is to celebrate the 25th anniversary with the new edition out today. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We'll wrap up the show here next on the X. That is Kill Switch Engage, their latest, I believe. We've been giving away tickets to them all week long. That will continue next week, as a matter of fact. So you're going to want to make sure you continue to tune in on Monday for those particular tickets. Special thank you to Lounge at the End of the Universe for popping by, talking a little bit about what's going on in the upcoming weeks as well as this weekend at the Lounge. So check out loungeboise.com for a complete update on all those things. We got a nice little song of the week, courtesy of Big J. That was Starset, kind of highlighting their really cool and exclusive sold-out acoustic performance happening on Monday here in the Treasure Valley. Very happy those guys are popping on through. And that, of course, Big J leaves you with the floor, sir.
Yeah, hey, we went to a movie yesterday, so we got another Morning After the Movies podcast that's up right now, wherever you can find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, all those places. And we went and saw Mickey 17. We had a good time.
We sure did. And so make sure you check it out. You can watch it and listen to it before you go see the movie to see if we tell you if it's worth it. And then you can listen to the podcast again afterwards to get into the spoilers where we start talking about what's really going on. So We consciously split that podcast into two, one spoiler-free version and then one spoiler-filled version, so that you can check it out regardless of what you've seen of the movie, and we talk all about it. And in this particular case, Big J, we talk about a lot of things besides the movie as well.
Well, because a lot of funny things happen.
A lot of weird and funny things happened yesterday. So check out the podcast wherever podcasts are available. You can also follow myself or Big J on social media and find links there as well. Morning After with Nick and Big J. That's it for us. You guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you Monday. It's the X Rocks.